Well.
No, you were never born, were you? You were never really born.
How many? She said, no? You were never really born. You're never really born. But I want to put this thing, you know? Does that make any sense to you if I told you you're never born? I mean, don't just hear it. If you hear it, of course, with your mind, it sounds ridiculous. What are you talking about? I have a date of birth, and you know, all of this. Everybody has a date of birth. So if you are born, you have to die. It goes together. But if you are told you are the unborn, can you find it in yourself a place where this is true? We know some part is subject to change and also pass away. An aspect of ourselves, a layer of the being, you can say, which belongs to time, which is the body, physical body. It has birthday, it has duration, it has end of day. Also for mind. Also, mind can carry on. The body, we know, it goes back to the elements. It gets recycled into something else, somewhere. Mind also carries on because it is the mind that is the seeking energy. It's where the identity is, the identity and so on. And that finds a sort of like an ongoing life. But are we the mind? Because only the mind incarnates. Then is there something beyond the mind that we have reached there? We have reached in recognition, not by creating, but by recognition. How many are seeing from the place where naturally witnessing of the mind and the content of mind, witnessing of consciousness and the content of consciousness. So if consciousness and the content of consciousness is observed, by what is it observed, and does it belong to time? See, these questions, these are your questions, because these questions, they don't need time to be answered actually. It's not time that it takes to answer them, although time may pass, but they're not depending on time. It means that the answer to them is here also now. That which witnesses the body-mind and their function, does that also belong to the realm of time, like the body and mind does? And is there a way of knowing? These are the kind of questions that we ask. Because these are final questions. They don't breed more concepts. Some questions, they generate more questions. They proliferate more questions. But true questions, they bring you to silence again. This is one of these questions, you see. It's not, you're not going to build any philosophy on this question. Is the body-mind, including the sense of oneself as an historical being, an evolving or evolutionary being in consciousness, is that the total fact? Is that the highest? Or is it not witnessed? The body's function, body's duration, the mind and its experience through memory, projection, fantasy, attachments, desire, all of this. Are they not witnessable? And if they are witnessable, is the witness of them also within the bubble of the time frame of mind and body? Or is the witness apart from it? Also, we can go even more subtle. Witnessing implies two or more, you see. But is also the witness also witnessable? Can also the witness be observed? And that which observes the witness Is it in time? We can answer a question like that, isn't it? Or is there no way of finding out? Does it leave us only the space to speculate or to prove? It's a very simple question, but it's the most important question. What can be more important a question than this? Of course, we judge whether questions are important or not depending on what your intention is. If your aim is for something else, if you are a footballer, your highest question could be something else. But collating all the vast range of human interest, if we were to present the human being in his highest expression, will it not be this? To find out what is his nature, where did he come from, who is he? Suppose another being arises from some other part of some galaxy. They want to know about us. Who are you? What have you attained as a species? What is your highest attainment as a species? You're going to show him Usain Bolt. You're going to show him, some scientist, poet, a doctor. What will be the highest expression of the human spirit and the human nature, the human being? What is the highest expression? Who will come to represent the highest of the human? This is our principal being. This one embodies the height of our possibility. Who are you going to find? A Buddha, a Christ, or something? A Krishna? And why would they be the one? That's if you would choose them. So I feel these questions, at least they must be relevant here. Maybe somebody else says, no, I'm not interested in this. The highest for me would be like the greatest artist. That would be the highest for me, because art is your subject. Or a scientist may say, yes, we're able to do this. We can convert one form into another form. We can somehow transform forms. In this machine we can do it. What would be the highest standard we can do? But in my opinion, I say, find someone who knows himself. Which would be incomparable. They, from their highest species, from their highest attainment, would have to come and say, wow, we share goals. We share goals, because how can you go beyond awareness? There are the higher forms of awareness when awareness has no form. In it, everything is captured, you see. We can discover something completely new today that no one has ever seen before. But it will not stir, it will not be greater than consciousness. It will have to appear in consciousness as a shape, a movement in consciousness, which also comes and goes and is perceived to come and go. So it cannot be greater than consciousness. Come from another galaxy. Other beings speak other languages. I said before, if supposing now some spaceship actually lands in Odimira, okay? So people from all over Portugal, military, all different politicians, everybody's come. And from all of Europe they've come. Because these aliens land and they're doing shopping in Continente. They're in Continente, walking about, looking and stuff like this. And they're quite friendly, Everybody is there, and they come and they're bringing their children and they're shopping. And then they want to go to Albufeira to swim and things like that. Right? It's the biggest news all over the world. For about maybe 2 or 3 weeks. And then, of course, for a while after, many people who have never seen one, then we have some, you can do Skype and see them and stuff like that. But the main edge has been taken off now. They're here, moving about. Would they come from another kind? Do we need another kind of consciousness to perceive them? Not at all. There'll still be a shape, a form arising in the awareness that is here. What is it in us that does not belong to time? Must we wait until we are desperate to find this out? Or must every being, every human being, be disturbed by old age and the oncoming of the falling of the body or something? Must we all taste like that? Must it be like this? Must we all taste one singular experience? I don't think like this. Even death is not the same for everyone. If you want to ask a true question, you must ask that question that throws a net over thousands of other questions. Don't just go fishing for one fish. Throw it over the whole of the world. Why not? If you truly want to get to the point, then you must ask a great question. And the greatest is, who am I? Because all the beings, before they can perceive or be interested in anything else, before they can be interested in anything else, they must first have a sense of who they are. They have the sense of I. And they've given some meaning to this I. I am this person, I am so and so and so. And that will really somehow play a part in what will be their goal in life, depending on where you place your identity. If you don't know what your I is, then everything else that your I knows is suspect. If the one who is the knower of everything else is not known. Is this not the most simple, the most profound thing? And then it is felt to be so complex, because by what can the I be known? It says it is the firstborn of concepts. It is the firstborn. Then what was there before it arose? Because it must have, something is born, it must be born into a space that preceded it, that was there before it, in order to be received in this space. So what is this space that the I is born in and perceive the birth of I, the arising of I? When you think of yourself, what have you to show for it? What have you found to be yourself? The body? Does the body know a self? Does the body know it is you? As I said before, like supposing now there was some strange gas came through and causes everybody to forget which bodies they are. Strange gas come. And then nobody could connect with the body they used to think it's them. We don't know who is who, or whose body is my body. Would the body be looking for you? Would the body be looking and going? No. Does the body have any allegiance to identity? Is it? So who is identified in it? Does the body knows it has a name? Does it know it is the daughter of someone and the son of someone? Does the body itself know this? And is it the Supreme that is perplexed by life? Is trying to solve the mystery. The Supreme neat. Neat means unmixed. No, it must be some mixture of the self combined with conditioning or identity that can experience the sense of some confusion and an urge to discover something. It comes from there. Then we want to know if, when we think of ourselves, is it with this shape that we think? Are we thinking based upon the sense that there's a sense of beingness, and also my conditioning, my culture, all of these things contribute to the present identity I take myself to be? And is that identity reliable? Because it seems to be subject to change, and every now and again it change, and it changes its view. It's always absorbing from its environment, learning from the encounters and so on. Is it a fixed entity? And yet it feels that so much has changed, and yet there is something that seems continuous. What is this continuity? I say it is the consciousness, it is the sense I am. It is continuous. Because it itself does not attach itself to any adjectives, any identity, like I'm an auntie, I'm an uncle, I'm a wife, I'm a husband. It doesn't automatically embrace that. I want to know if these contemplations, if they are as yet a joy to you, or are they just your toolkit, your toolbox, or whether it's a little bit of a burden to have to go and meditate and to think about it, and when you'd rather just, have fun or whatever. So that you don't have to get in gear. You don't have to get in gear. You don't get up and go, okay, now I must put on my spiritual suit. You don't have to make any adjustment at all. So your waking up happens in you. When waking up happens, you're already there to see, is it true or not?
Yes.
You see? The waking up itself happens in you. Do you witness the waking up happen? You were there. Waking up woke up in you. And the day is unfolding in you, the intelligence, consciousness. Or are we still deeply identified with the seeming person who is living a day? Do you have the sense you're living your life? Or do you have the sense that you are life? And also at the same time, the witnessing of what we call life is occurring in you, but you're also not deeply touched by it. Something is acting, reacting, interacting, but that's also part of the unfolding. That not even your reaction is you. And do we feel that we are made much less complete if your reaction you cannot own? That is just the functioning of the vital force and the intelligent principle And there are not many places you're going to be able to have intelligent conversations about these things. Arguments, plenty. Arguments, you can have plenty. You know, different speculations, we can have plenty. But to have communion in this type of understanding, this is very rare. One day you'll be very thankful that you had this Sangha body around you to keep reflecting back, because each one is like a mirror that is reflecting back each and everyone who encounters it, and to feel the real support it is given in helping you to recognize that which we imagine we have become separated from, or that we've lost. So I have just few questions. But they can only be asked when beings have come to a certain stage and they have some sort of affinity that these questions strikes at something profound within themselves and stimulate an inquiry, stimulate an introspection that takes us out of sleep. That you are not merely trying to solve problems for a day, but forever. Sometimes you listen, you meet, you leave here, and you go back. Some people say yes, but when you go back to reality. So, okay. That's the reality. Okay. But we have to go back to reality. Yes. Okay. So when you go back to reality, where all the beings are suffering realistically, and you see actually that much of it is actually being created and perpetuated through the thinking mind. Then you begin to appreciate. But there is a choice in that. A choice of redirecting the attention. And you see, but you know, but to convey, you can only convey to a heart and mind that is receptive to that. You see. And therein lies if there's a difficulty, it is born right there. And also that the one who is trying to impart must also be within themselves very clear, so that it is not coming from your mind. That you think, I want to help you, I know how I can help you, and you're missing a lot of subtleties. That life does not work like that. That sometimes we are still afraid to feel certain things, and so we try to cover up our fear by stopping the thing from expressing what it does to express. Where will this discernment come from, you see? It will come from inside you. So, to know when to leave a thing and when to just remain empty and present. All these things, we don't have to go to school to learn them. They actually, like when we plant a tree, we take care that the hole is big enough, the soil is good enough, the right type of nutrients is inside, the position is good enough. Okay? You don't know what kind of fruit it's going to bear. But if you take the steps, the fruits will be fine. The flowers, the blossoms will be fine. The shape will be fine, because you've done that work.
Mooji, you said that when we are open and leave, how do we know when we are really open?
Well,
What?
you don't know. Well, actually, when you're in a sangha, you will know. That's the beauty of sangha. Because if you're by yourself, you don't know. You only have yourself to compare with, you know. But when you're in a sangha, in the sangha field, you will see that certain behavior, which normally probably works in the real world, okay, don't really work here, in a sense, in that field. Then for a while you feel maybe, you know, unsupported, and nobody wants to listen to your story because that's what we're accustomed to. But actually it's a good thing. And then your real stuff can start to come up, because if what we do is always only relate from the place you're good at relating from, then we don't really evolve in the way that you can. But when somehow your old patterns don't work, when your old self-image does not work, it's not a currency here, nobody's interested in it, then sometimes people feel very isolated. Say, I don't know how to be. But sometimes people, they say also to myself, I feel very uncomfortable with you because I don't know how to be. I said, but if you don't know how to be, you're uncomfortable all the time, actually. It's just you're less challenged by something, other things. So when you're in the kind of the energy field of a sangha, a living sangha, not a tired sangha, a sangha that is alert to the self, you begin to feel sometimes challenged, even though they don't speak. Their body language will expose you. They'll pass, and the way that they talk and stuff and how they look at you, it will all be having some impact, some effect upon your being. And something inside will be deeply challenged. Then you'll begin to feel, you know what, actually I feel this is good for me. Or I can't stay in this place, it's too much. We have had a few people, well, not many, 2 or 3 who come, and they have to leave. They have to leave quick. In 1-2 days, they have to get out. Nobody sent them away, but they came. It was too strong. Something too strong.
So what help is there then?
Huh? What help is there?
Hope.
What hope? Every hope. Every hope. But not on your terms. This is the thing, because your beingness brought you here. It came here to be nurtured in this field, which will maybe stretch some old tendencies like that, and you have to trust that. I say, you come, it's very good. So for a while, something is fighting. It's fighting to live the old way, but they say maybe it doesn't work for a bit. But something else is there also that's help you to say, no, it's okay, it's fine. Look, stay. You see, even the people run away. It's okay up to a point, you know. We have one also who come all the time. He's been coming here for over years, but every time he come, and there's been a few changes happen, and he runs away. This time he even came here, I think only one day I saw him. He's planning to come Sahaja. He came, and he's somewhere out in the bush somewhere else, where there's a swimming pool and things like this. You see, something. And I said, but this is very weak. Afraid, like, it's mind, you know. The mind is playing, you know. Tell you, this is not your life, you know, like, you're free to do what you want. But this is only egoic freedom. And you stay in this and you get stretched, tested, but the beautiful way, because it's so much love also is there, and nobody is judging you like that. Of course, sometimes you have superficial tensions happen, but they don't last very long here, because no one is that interested in it, you see. So it's such a healthy environment, very healthy environment. You see. And so quick, your life can transform into beautiful thing. Otherwise, you cannot be caterpillar all your life. Sometimes the natural thing you have to take to the sky is from one point. Suppose you were told in some kind of way that if for the rest of this life you're still only caterpillar. How oppressive an idea, isn't it? You know, in terms of one's spiritual evolution. That you'll always just be a caterpillar, maybe in a few lives, you're a caterpillar still. It was horrible, horrible. And yet people accept these concepts also. That this life is not freedom, maybe another life, and maybe it is, who knows. But all of those things, they are just a kind of relative, they have a relative meaning, relative. I throw all of them away. And what is the good of throwing all of them away? So that we get straight to the point. If we go straight to the point, everybody's free right now. You may say, but yeah, but I don't feel it. Yes. Well, let's work with that. We have to work with that. Let's start with the truth. Not just end with the truth. Let's start with the truth as well. The truth is, if there is a reality, if there is a truth, it is omnipresent, it is infinite, it is ever present. It must be here now. Then if I say the thing is here now, suppose somebody, you know, passes away, and then one of your relatives, your uncle or something, pass away and leaves you, you're broke, you have no money, can't find a job. You're completely broke for the last 3-4 years, nothing at all. Then you find one uncle pass away, he's left you $500,000. And I'm not talking rupees, I'm talking euros. No? Okay? Oh my God, amazing. But there is one little drawback. You have to wait for the next 10 years to get it. It's better you don't know about it, isn't it? You have to find that if the thing is available, it must be available now. And this is what is so beautiful, because what I'm speaking about is what is always here. The rest is always moving. But that's where all our energies are, is in what is changing, always moving. Let what is moving by nature, let it move. It's fine, that's its nature. Why not find that which is unmoving, which is the source of the moving? Then you can be in both camps at the same time. It's okay. So this is something that I feel very happy. Something has drawn you to this discovery. For in the beginning, maybe feel difficult, but it's gonna
Bloody awful.
Bloody awful. You know what is feeling awful? Mind is feeling awful. Not the heart is feeling awful.
I feel it here, like when I get depressed and
Yeah.
I run for my meds.
Yes. But we are all happy for you. We are happy for you because we know what is happening. I know what is happening. You see? Huh?
Like I'm stupid.
You see, like these type of thoughts are not helpful. Well, that's not stupid. Unless we are stupid somehow. But that's already the serum is in. You see? Already the serum is in. No? Now the effect has started. And the first part you have some, you see, you start to get withdrawal symptoms. And the detox has started, you see? When the detox has started, you don't look good. It's not time to go out. Once the detox has started, you better stay home for a while because you don't look so pretty. You're there and and some people are looking at me, oh my God, no, I can't go and put lipstick and still look. So it happens to everybody. Actually. The detox starts a bit, and you're not looking, you're not looking like you're not the flavor of the month at all. But something is being burped out, and behind that, Your true nature is coming to the front. This is beautiful. It will only be terrible if this was the prize. If the prize was you feel, oh my God, I feel so sick. No, that's just the passage. Nobody loves vomiting. Nobody. Not even the old Romans. They don't love it. But behind it, no, it's very something in a way, our beingness is burping out, puking up all some stuff is coming to the surface. And it's going to feel unpleasant for a little bit. But such a small price to pay for freedom. Because soon you burp this stuff, and behind it the greater space of contentment and space and peace, you are going to feel like that. That's why I say we're happy. When anybody sees someone collapsing, a breakdown, we feel very happy. Oh, even sometimes people, they envy you. So I've been waiting for a good collapsing myself for a while. Isn't it? Because when that happens, you know, oh yes, something is the healing has started. We don't just take superficial readings as important. You have to be able to bear the ouches, a bit, and then it passes. It passes, and then sometimes you see many mistakes, many things. Oh my God, you don't like. Oh my God, I can't trust my mind. That is true. Can't trust my mind. You know, and like everything I think seems to be a lie. It's not nice, but that's true. And it just feels like it's just going downhill. But only for a bit. Anxiety is for who? It is for the person. It is not for the self. So let's find the person and give the person the anxiety medication. First find the person, and then we give him the anxiety medication. Don't assume, because everybody assumes the person. Find the person, and we'll give the anxiety medication. Because for so long we assume, I is the person. That is already the first mistake. I is not a person. I is the name of consciousness. I is not a person. A person is already a contaminated form of consciousness, very limited, prone to feelings of selfishness, judgment, fear, anxieties, all these things come.
Complaining.
So, yes, so once you get to the stage of the referring to yourself as the person, already it doesn't look good. Like every day we wake up, it's as though without actually speaking it out loud, we establish that we are a person. And you step out into life with this conviction, this affirmation that you are a person. You say, I am a person, and I see you all as persons, so treat me like I see you. So that's the treatment you will get. When you move, you must feel, I am consciousness. I am the self. Presence. You see? Not just fake believe that. First come to see that. When you see that, you don't even have to say that. And the world will treat you according to, like there's a saying, I am not seeing the world as it is. I am seeing the world as I am. So as you are, as you take yourself to be, then the world will look like that to you. When you are consciousness, the whole way your currency, your exchange rate is consciousness, not person. And so the consciousness functions in a much more cool way. It's not hot-blooded, it's not fiery, it's not full of friction or aggression. It's always space, and it's very flexible. It can change its perspective if it needs to do this in order to maintain that the harmony and the love that makes things flow more beautifully. So all this, you don't even have to have these things explained. It happens automatically also. You simply come to know. You come to know. People say, well, how do you know? You may not know how you know. You may just know you know, rather than you think. Very different. Something, just moment, just seems very clear. That's how it is.
Mooji. I just wanted to share on that level, like when I was dreaming once, quite recently, I was having a really bad dream. And you know, within the dream, just before you wake up, you realise that it's just a dream. And there's that moment of like such peace that comes. And then I woke up and found myself realising that this is also this kind of dream. And then there was like yet another loop of just such bliss that just came.
Very nice. Does anybody, when you've heard, because I myself have said, you wake up each morning from the phenomenal dream. But to truly wake up, you must wake up also from the waking state. Does anyone have a clear idea what is meant by that? That the waking state is also a form of dream. And what does it mean, dream, in the context of what I'm expressing? Not dream that somehow in a dream you can fly and do all, not this, but dream in another way, that the elements are fine, the form of the elements are fine, but the context and the story that is given to things are not true. It's not what they are. It's what they've been believed to be. They've accepted, or they take the color of your projections and your desire and so on. And once you see that, then you start to feel, but that is really not fair. That is intruding upon the life. You see, that there is another, of course it can be done because consciousness can do many things. But then a wiser choice would just be to be quiet and just watch how it unfolds by itself. Does it make a better flow than the person's projections? The person wants their projection to be fulfilled and not recognizing the cosmic unfolding which is happening naturally. So it's like a twin reality thing. One is how your mind is projecting the life, what it is and what you want it to be. And the other is how it is naturally unfolding, you see. Then you see that it is non-personal, but it takes care of everything beautifully. Only when we begin to see that, you will feel the fullness of it, the richness of it, the fairness, the love of it, the power of it. But no one living their own private personal version of existence can be truly content or free. You will only be living a version. Are you getting more accustomed to being empty? You see, rather than that the consciousness is always in gear. The consciousness is always in gear. It's always up. It's always on duty. You see? It never rests. The best it can do is on pause, which is not really rest. There's a tension there. You see? Is it always in gear? Or can it be in neutral? Just like we are looking and the senses are open to perceive different information. But if the mind is not interested or shopping through the senses for sensations, then your perceiving is very light and free for everybody, you know? Because it's not that everything you look at is going to register in consciousness. Look at it. How you look at these flowers, beautiful, beautiful. Look at them, you know. Suppose there was a law that if you look at something for more than 5 seconds, it will just take a photograph and you can't get rid of it. So you'd have to kind of look at. No, but you can be like this for all day, and you leave it and it doesn't leave any footprints at all in the consciousness. Except if we begin to give a meaning to it and sentimentalize it or something, and, you know, overlay a meaning on it to make it into something other than what it is just by itself. You know? But I don't want to talk so much about these things, because I don't want you to think that that's the practice you have to do. You only have to find out who you are, that which is arising inside as I, and is engaging with a life through so many concepts. Whether that is the true self, or is it a personal idea of self, or what is it? And the more you get into the habit of qualifying, of discerning what is your high functioning as, then very soon, very, very quick, you'll find that the mind loses its illusory power, and the way in which we are being deluded, this also will drop away. It drop away because you understood the root. You understood the root, that the very I itself, in its highest aspect, what can the I be? It can be the supreme being. It can be the absolute also. It can be. What is its lowest? You know, I am this person. I am the person. When it gets to I'm the person, it's very, very hypersensitive, the person. They get into moods very easily disturbable. You see? Full of opinions and projections and ideology. Restless, all these things. The self is not like that. Flexible, open, full of love, wisdom. Empty. It's not carrying around a portfolio of strategies. It has no fear of life. It is life. Over and over and over I say these things, over and over and over. Over and over and over. Something is looking out through these eyes at a vast and changing world. But where is this looking coming from? Who is looking out behind the eyes? What is looking out? Is it an entity that's looking out? Or is just some sense that the vastness is looking out through these eyes into the seeming vastness of the phenomenal world? These you experience this thing. This is a tremendous existence, a fantastic existence. We are not here to suffer it. Suffer a little bit must be included, because it's part of, this is God's kitchen. Every condiment is in there. Okay? But somehow there's a balance, there's a way to be in it, and to be always in the heart of it so beautifully. Nothing in the world has one fixed meaning about it. The meanings is what is the condiment that you had on top of it. And that will then dress it to taste the way that you choose to taste it. And life shows that one thing can be loved by some people and hated by other people. It's got nothing to do with the thing, but to do with the mind of the people. Because there never was a time and there never was a being who was loved by everyone, not even God. There never was a being that was loved by everyone. Even the most lovable being, they would hate you, even for no reason. It can happen. Because you must taste that feeling also. You must taste fairness and unfairness, justice and injustice. You must taste everything and not be left with a bitter heart. Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.